Welcome to EN Global Education Facebook live session. Assalamu alaikum everyone. I believe like everyone having a very good evening and Ramadan Mubarak for all of our students. And today we having with us one of our best partner, Ima Pane from who is International Recruitment Manager from University of Hull. Thank you, Ima, for your time and attending this Facebook live session. How are you today?
I'm doing really well, thank you. Great to see that video of campus. I'm really missing being there, so it's really lovely to see that this morning for me.
Yeah, exactly. This is the short video. A student can get at least some vibes about this university location and everything. And basically, we see that it's a huge university having so many campuses and accommodation facilities. So we'll know more from you. And I believe like there is so many students. They are really waiting for to know this information from you regarding the university. Admission procedures, application procedures, accommodation facilities, and all other facilities. So would you please first of all tell us like where this university located and a little bit of the history of the university, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's a pleasure to be here with you this morning. So thanks for having me to start with. In terms of where the university is located, so the University of Hull is actually in the city of Hull. Now we're in the northeast of England. So it means that to get down to London takes 2.5 hours by train. Our really big city nearby is Manchester, so that takes 2 hours by train as well. And then we're really close to the cities of Leeds and York, which students might also have heard of too. And they take about an hour to get to. So we're really easy to get around the UK. It's really easy to get in, get out. So yeah, no, I love living here because I'm so well connected to everywhere in the UK.
All right, that's literally good because like students who really want to study in Hull, you know, they from Bangladesh, they would like to sometime want to stay in their relatives' home eventually. So could you please let me know, like, if any students want to stay their relatives' home, if their relatives are living in Manchester, is it possible to do class from Manchester? Is student need to stay in university accommodation?
I would suggest it's easier to stay in university accommodation. If you've got family in Manchester and you want to come to Hull, it's good to do as a day trip, but to do it on a commuting basis, it'd be quite costly because actually public transport in the UK is not very cheap. In comparison to many other countries, but also that 2-hour commute, that's the train time, so it doesn't include getting to and from train stations and things like that. So you could live in Manchester with your family or another city and then come over to Hull, but I'd actually really say live in Hull because you get the best of becoming a student in the UK and making those really close connections with people on your course as well. And you do miss out on that a little bit if you tend to live off of campus and away from kind of that environment.
All right, so when we come across with this accommodation, would you please let us know this accommodation facility what university providing to the students, okay? Is it secure for all the international students if they want to stay in university accommodation?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a guaranteed deadline of the 1st of October every year of students booking accommodation. We're really lucky. In that video we saw at the beginning, the courtyard is one of our accommodations that is now open to our students. We've also had another build of accommodation called Westfield Court, which is also on campus, and we also have Taylor Court. So on campus in total, we have about 2,500 rooms. And then in the really close vicinity to campus, then you've also got a really good thriving private student housing market as well, and they really cater for students who want to live outside of campus. So they do things like include all of the bills. They'll provide different kind of like setups for students as well, and there's lots and lots of options in accommodation. So whether you want your own apartment, whether you just want a single room with like shared facilities, like literally like everything both on campus and off campus is available. What's really great about being on campus though is a couple of our accommodations, so Courtyard and Westfield, they have 24 hours a day security. So if you're a parent and you're sending your son or your daughter over to the UK for the first time, if you don't have family here, it can be a little bit kind of like daunting that you're sending your kid away. I would feel the same. And having that on-site security and that staff available, and knowing that if your child needs some support, they can go and get that. Our campus itself has always got security on site, so it's 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. So there's lots and lots of support there for students if they choose to stay on campus.
All right, it's really great news for all these international students. And please can you please add like how much it would cost for a single room for a student is university accommodation, or if they want to stay outside. I know it depends on the facilities, but approximately how much it could cost them.
Okay, so when we look at campus accommodations, we've kind of got different rates at the moment for undergrads and for postgrads. So postgrads, they reduced the fee, and the cheapest on-campus accommodation so far, so single room with ensuite, is in Taylor Court, £104 per week for this year. So that's a reduced fee to what's published on the website. It's just a special postgrad fee. Then undergrads start at £125 a week, approximately. So that's all on campus. And it goes up. So if you were looking, say, for a one-bed apartment with a rooftop terrace, goes up to about £220 per week. That is much more affordable than many other places in the UK. Now, if we go off campus, if you go for a single bedroom with all bills included, that would be shared bathroom, shared kitchen, starts from about £75 to £80 per week. If you go bills not included, starts about £55 a week. So it's very affordable for the UK. Then if we look at something that's a little bit better, so you want, say, like an ensuite apartment, like really good quality, starts about £100 per week. So as I said, for the UK, it's affordable. Do not compare to the prices in Bangladesh. But for UK, it becomes really affordable, and you're very lucky to be able to get a very good quality for a really good price as well.
Exactly, because like if a student going to other cities, city like London or Birmingham, is really expensive rather than Hull for the accommodation. And I believe like this accommodation is really affordable for the student, and which is really at their value as well. So come across from this accommodation, Emma, I'm just wondering like why a student would like to study in Hull, as UK having so many universities. So could you please give some point for the students and their parents, please?
Absolutely. So we're really lucky at the University of Hull. We're very much a teaching university, but we're also a researching university. We have some really top researchers in their field, top academics in their fields, coming and being here in Hull. Now, what makes that great for students who are studying here, especially on like undergrad and master's programs, is because we're a smaller university, we're around 14,500 students, and they're not just the ones on campus. The ones on campus is even smaller, it's about 12,000. It means that you're getting access as a master's or undergrad student directly into those academics. And that gives you a really additional oomph to your studies. It really means that you're getting that extra support, that extra access. You could be involved in some of our live research projects as well, depending on which course you're doing. So it means that students are really gaining the best. For us, we're really focusing on both of those aspects. And there's lots of different subject areas that we're covering and looking at in those areas as well.
So would you mind to let us know like the employability rate? Sometimes students want like some courses with like advanced practice or work placements. So do you have such kinds of course for bachelor or masters?
Okay, so our employability rate at the university for international students is actually a little bit higher than our UK one. I saw that we flash up like 94%. For international students, actually 97.9% go into further work or study after 6 months of graduating, which is fantastic for our students to know. Now, at undergrad level, if you want to build an internship or a placement year into your program, then there are lots and lots of things available for you and lots of options. So you can either do a full year of placement as an undergrad student. So you do a standard 3-year bachelor. And then to add the placement year makes it 4 years. When you do your 3rd year is when you do your placement. Now, that's undergrad and covers, as I say, lots of subject areas. At master's level, though, we only have one program that has placement, and that's in business management. It's a 4-month placement, and we also integrate that into the middle of our degree. So a lot of universities, what they do is they do 1 year of study and then 1 year of placement. So for us, we want to make sure that that placement is actually an integral part of your studies. And we do that in the 3rd trimester. So you study from September through to our summer, which is June in the UK. Then in June, July and August and September is when you do your placement, and then you come back to us and do your dissertation, which you use your experiences that you've gained from that placement as well. Now, with placement within the university, we have a lot of support from our careers team that will help students find the jobs. You have to get that job yourself, though. That is the key. We don't give it to you. You have to go out and find it. But fantastic team that will help those students to get that placement. Also looking for jobs once they graduate and while they're studying as well.
Well, you know, like as the international students, okay, most of the students, they are wondering about, like, as soon as they finish their course, how they can find any job to get some international, you know, experience. Because like most of the students, when they complete their study, they need to have some practical experience in order to get some good work in their future. So in that case, like how would you guys help to the students to, you know, like prepare their CV up to date, or how to apply to international organization? How do you guys help to those students?
So the first thing I tell any student, not undergrad so much, but very much master's students, do not wait until you finish your course to look for a job. You need to start looking from the moment you arrive, okay? You need to make sure that you've got the best skill set. You've done all of the different activities that we can help you with, such as interview preparation, CV writing, cover letter writing, and that we can help you evidence some of those things as well. We have something called the Hull Employability Awards, and I'd really strongly recommend any student to take this up because it just shows an employer that they've done certain things. The other thing that's also really good to help students get jobs when they graduate is for them to have part-time jobs when they're studying, because there's nothing more that you need than basically to show that you can already work as part of a team, that you've actually got those timekeeping skills. They're the basics that employers are looking for. And if you can evidence them by having had a part-time job, that's really helpful. And as I've said, the careers team, they will help students with those part-time jobs and with the jobs when they graduate too. We have really good careers fairs where we bring a lot of employers either onto campus or virtual, as we've done over the last year, so that students get to meet those different employers and understand what they're looking at as well. So what skills do you need to work in the industry that you're going into? What skills do you need to be able to work in the UK or to work internationally?
Wow, which is really helpful for those international students. As I was international students, I know how to how it would be helpful for all the students who really going from their home country to abroad for their study, because as it's totally new place for them, and end of the day, they are if university not helping like this way, it will be really tough for them. So I believe like Hull step in on this way, and which is really helpful for all those international students. Coming across this point, I'm just going to those master's course, some entry requirements, because like we receiving so many questions and from the students, so we will go one by one to these questions right now. And I just would like to ask you, like, what is the entry requirements for master's students from Bangladesh?
Okay, so if you're coming into a master's program, you need to have done a 4-year bachelor degree, and the minimum requirement is a 2.5 CGPA. So if that's a 2.5. Depending on the program you're coming into, you might need relevant background, or you might be able to come into that subject without a relevant background, just that good grade. If you're doing an engineering course, then you need to make sure that you've got some accreditation in your bachelor from from Bangladesh as well. We can always supply the specifics, and our website has really good information for students too.
You know, like during this pandemic situation, we come across again the lockdown situation. So in that case, like IELTS become little bit of tough to students for the students. So do you accept any other internal test or PTE or Duolingo or any other IELTS?
Yes, so we accept lots of different English language tests. We always ask for English language tests, so we won't accept medium of instruction as a requirement. So tests that we take, give you an idea of some of the big tests, PTE, TOEFL, if you can book in for those. Now, the new test that we have just started to accept is the Oxford International English Language Test, which we know as ETTL or something like that. No, it's the ELLT. So we are now accepting that. We also have that co-branded. So if students come down to EN Global, they can actually get a discount from that particular test as well. So it becomes a much more affordable option than doing IELTS, just in direct comparison. But also then it means that students can, if they don't meet our grade, there's also option to do online pre-sessional as well if they want to do that this year. So the Oxford test is done online. So yeah, they don't have to worry about physically being able to get to a test center.
Exactly, and which is really good option for the students. And would you please let us know, like, what list? I know, like, there is so many courses you guys are having option for all the students, but you know this Bangladesh market, we had discussed about it. So could you please share with us, like, few popular courses which students is always applying from our country, and you know, their those courses tuition fees and entry requirements, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we're looking at is business remains ever popular. All of our subjects, so whether you're looking at accounting and finance, business management, we also have a specialization in logistics and supply chain management, and our Bangladeshi students are all over it. So I have to say, highest number of applications at the moment is from Bangladeshi students is for logistics and supply chain. We also have a really amazing academic who happens to be from Bangladesh, so lots of students from there on that. Now, so aside from business, other popular areas have been our AI and data science course, but also our engineering programs, and literally across the board. So we're talking electrical engineer, energy engineering, renewable energy. We've also got mechanical engineering has become popular, and also we are really good in environmental sciences in Hull. And we've got some really great courses in so around the kind of environmental sciences, and the numbers of applications this year have really gone up for those particular areas. So if you've got students that are really interested in things like, we've got one particular course in flood risk management, and very much look at flooding. Hull is a low-lying flood area, and obviously that's very kind of like a parallel with Bangladesh. So quite a good course to look at, but like environment and how you manage that as well. Now, to give you an idea of fees for these courses, if we're looking at business management, then this year our fee is £9,600 for the 12-month programme. If you do the program that's got the internship, it's a little bit more, but a standard 12-month fee, 9,600. Now, if you're looking at science or engineering, the fee's even less. So it's £9,000 for the year. And we can talk about why it's at this rate in a moment. But this is where we're set. Now, if you've got students that are interested in arts, humanities, law, politics, those kind of courses, then the fees are even lower. They're £7,850 for the 12-month program. So it's a big range of different types of fees. Now, we were talking about entry requirements, and you need to have that standard 2.5 GPA. If you're coming into business, you don't have to have a particular background, but detail in your SOP why you're interested in this field. Now, if you're looking at coming into science and engineering, you do need to have a background, but you can come, say, from engineering into any of our engineering degrees. So really detail in your SOP what your background is, what you've done already, and how you see this fitting in. And this will really help us when we process your application.
Basically, when you were just come across, I was just looking at this tuition fees and course you guys offering is really, really lucrative, and some demanding courses such as like LLM in international law, conflict security, and human rights, which is a really demanding course. Tuition fees only 7,850 for all those law students. I believe it will be really affordable for you. And there is another course which is like MA in education. We having so many application on that course, and the tuition fees still comes only below 8,000. It's 7,850 quid only. After that, we having another top demanding course. What we always applying, receiving so many application, which is MSc Advanced Computer Science, or some courses like MSc Computer Science Cyber Security. Those courses only 9,000. So I just add those few courses, which is like we're receiving always queries from students. Entry requirements is quite flexible, because like 2.550 from any public or private university, which is like we see so many students is getting that result, and IELTS is only 6, no less than 5.5, which is really easy, I believe, to get to for any master's student. So coming to Ima again, if any students want to make their application, what kind of documents the student need in order to make their application? Could you please just tell us?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we're looking for from a student when they're applying to Hull is you need a really good SOP that covers where you want to study your subject area. You need one letter of recommendation for a master's program. We need to see your transcripts and your certificates. So if you've completed your bachelor already, send those in. If you haven't completed your bachelor, then send to us what you have done already. Now, the other great thing, if you apply to the University of Hull, then I really recommend applying through EN Global. They'll be able to help you with the application process, make sure that you've got all of the correct documentation together, get them into our admissions teams. And they also have a really good link in with myself. So if we've got any queries, I get to pick them up and support EN Global with those as well.
Thank you, Ima. Even though
I forgot one more important thing. English language test. So you need to send in the English language test if you have already taken this. If you haven't and you're planning, then we just need to be told about that too.
All right. That's really good information for the students, and all the students and viewers. I would like to let you know that if you miss this live session, or if you want to really apply in University of Hull, in our monitor there is some our officers' numbers providing there. Everyone working from home, so you can call them, and they are really helpful. They can give you a virtual, they can give you a video call or a Skype call, and they can talk to your parents regarding your admission. And if you want to apply to the University of Hull, you can just WhatsApp any of this number. Then our admission officer will get back to you. And Ima, there is some question comes from the student side. There is a Sarwar Mahmoud. He is asking about, like, I want to know about the minimum deposit for getting CAS letter.
Okay, yeah, great. Thanks. Great question. So our minimum deposit is £2,000. And once we've had this, then we'll be able to issue the CAS once you have what we call an unconditional offer. So it means that you've met all of the criteria for your course.
Okay. His second question is, how many installment facilities university provide to the master's degree students for paying tuition fees?
This is really easy. So this year it's basically a 33% split. So if our tuition fee is £9,000, you have to have cleared 3,000 by enrolment, 3,000 in January, 3,000 in April. Your deposit is also included within that first 3,000. So you pay your deposit now, you'd then be clearing £1,000 in order to enroll. So very simple split.
Well, which is really good for during this pandemic for international students. And there is some concern, tuition fees question comes close to us, like the concerning issue, like some parents, they're asking, like, is there any scholarship available for the students? And would you please address this question?
Yeah, absolutely. So this year for our postgraduate students on master's programs, we don't have any scholarships available. What we've been able to do is actually set our fee at the lowest rate. So our fee, which I've already talked to you about, is like 9,000, 9,600 or 7,850 if you're doing like law or politics. The reason why we set that so low is we wanted to give students across the globe the best opportunity possible. And in order to do that opportunity, what we did is we matched our fees for this year because of the impact of the global pandemic of COVID, and then looking at also the impact of Brexit for our European students. So this year, rather than giving scholarships to our master's students, we're giving you just one really affordable lower fee. And we hope that it will mean that will make students kind of the costs a little bit easier to bear during this year. Now, the undergrad students, however, we've still got a scholarship out there, and students from Bangladesh are getting up to 3,000 or 3,500 per year. So it really depends on the course that you're doing, and you know, kind of like when you're applying and what your situation is right now.
Wow, okay. And there is another question comes from a student, Jahan Shahid. He is asking how many days taking to getting forecast letter.
Okay, so we haven't started processing CAS. We're going to do that in a couple of days. So we're getting all set up for it now. Really depends on the situation of the students. Once they've done all of their clearance checks, so we need to make sure we've got all of the correct documentation, they've paid their deposit, it's cleared in the bank, everything like that, then it will take a couple of days for a CAS to be issued. So it's really about the process before that will take longer rather than the actual issuing of CAS. But as I say, we're going to start issuing CAS from the 23rd of April. So if students holding an offer already, then make sure that they've paid the deposit, they've got everything all set up, and they're following the instructions in our portal. That means that they're that they're ready for that CAS to be issued to them.
All right, and there is another student. He's asking like how many days we need to have an offer letter.
So at the moment, it's a little bit slower than we'd like, but one of the reasons is because of the influx of number of applications this year. I have to say our applications have absolutely skyrocketed because so many students around the world have been really impressed by our lower fee. So it's taking about a week for an offer to come through. As a university, we aim to get this down around in 48 hours, but unfortunately, due to capacity, we are now at about 1 week, maybe 2 weeks during the really busy periods. So please bear with us if you're making the application, but we will get back to you as soon as possible.
Exactly, because like we having so many students that they're waiting last 7-8 days or 10 days. So I would like to give them like please wait another few days, and you will definitely gonna get your response from the university. And there is some university in my country I have discussed with you is such as like North South University and some other university where their like CGPA is very, it comes very low for their marking criteria. So in those under the circumstances, how do you assess those files? Like if someone getting like less than 2.5 but is like 2.4 above 2.3, but the mark they are getting like more than 70 or 80% marks. So in that case, like do you guys will assess the files one by one, or this will be like assessed by like flat rate, like okay, he's below 2.5, so he's not going to get off a letter?
So what we would do in these cases, especially from like the really top universities like North South University, we would assess them on a case-by-case basis. So we stick at our flat rate of a 2.5 CGPA, but if we saw a case come through, I would flag this with our admissions team, and we'd then send that out to the academics, and we'd basically make a case that this student's at a really top quality institution, and therefore we think that they should be given entry, and we give them what we call extenuating circumstances entries. And these normally go through. I haven't seen any problems so far, but we've been very lucky that the quality of our students coming to Hull is very, very high. And we're happy to help you. So if you're coming through EN Global tell me that actually we've got a student with a lower grade, then we can support you. We'll be working together in partnership to support that application getting through.
All right, that's fantastic. Like Sadman, we already addressed this question, but we're gonna address again. Do your university accept YET certificate? Is like Oxford International certificate is?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have recently approved this English language test by Oxford International, and as I say, we're also working in partnership with them. So if you have a specific special code when you make your application for that, then we can actually offer it to you at a cheaper rate as well.
All right, fantastic. Now, some students they're asking about, and they would like to know about this. Like during this pandemic situation, what is the university what is the university step in, and how the course will conduct in September intake, and is how the parents basically they are highly concerned about this issue.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would understand why studying overseas is very costly, and also is a lot of time and it's money to invest. What we're doing is we follow the latest government guidelines. So the government made a new decision 2 days ago about the universities opening up to face-to-face teaching. And they have, the government have said that if the pandemic decline continues the way it has done in the UK, then we will be able to open up for face-to-face teaching from the 17th of May this year. We will continue to monitor what the government are doing, and we hope that by September, if we continue to get the numbers of the pandemic down, that we'll be able to keep going for face-to-face teaching coming up. What we've been doing as a university is monitoring the situation very closely. Our senior leadership team have done a really great job in getting to make really quick decisions about what's going on and how we're going to manage them. And what we've been doing in that process is telling our students what's going to happen, what's their situation, can they come to campus, which courses are away from campus, what is happening there. What we'll be doing going forward is keeping our offer holders and applicants up to date in the same way. So if you're applying to the University of Hull, if you're holding an offer with us, we will keep you as up to date as we can with what the situation is, what we're going to be doing to help you. My job is to know what's happening in Bangladesh, and I will be feeding that back into my senior team and making sure that this is the situation in Bangladesh at the moment. This is what the UK government are agreeing with Bangladesh, and then managing those situations individually for each country. So we're working on how that looks for September entry, but we will keep you up to date as offer holders, and we're keeping our agencies like EN Global up to date with what's happening as well.
Fantastic. And there is a few more questions comes. Is like a student, he's asking about, is there 3 years bachelor accepted for pre-masters year 1 on campus?
So for entry for the pre-masters, you actually still have to have a 4-year bachelor, but they will accept you with a lower grade. So if you get in contact with EN Global, they'll be able to give you an idea of what on-campus are. So it's on-campus Hull who provide our pre-masters. It's only in business subjects, but they can give you an idea of the entry criteria, but they can certainly help you. If your 3-year bachelor is an honours degree, then you may be able to come onto the pre-masters.
Exactly, because like sometimes we can see like students who take, like who usually take their more or credit in order to finish as early as possible. So in that case, Hull can accept the file, but if it's only 3 years course, then it's different. So you can send your phone number to, or you can call one of our admission officer, and he will guide you more details, and you can ask any more questions to him and your entry requirements. And hopefully that will address your all the questions. And basically, if you really want to go to University of Hull, so there is a 3 numbers coming below this this screen. Those three officers is really dedicated for only University of Hull. They look after all the procedures for Hull applications. So you can get any kinds of information regarding scholarships or entry requirements or your IELTS. And there is a few more questions come across regarding like OITC results and requirements for YTC results. Those kinds of questions you can ask to our officer. They will guide you and advise you, because like we already come across those questions in our live session. And if you have already this certificate, please feel free to send us, and our email address also provided in our all the social media, or you can just WhatsApp on one of our admission officer. He will guide you how to send all those documents, or you can WhatsApp us as well. So Ima, coming forward to those questions and entry requirements and COVID situation, we are nearly cover most of the questions. What we always like getting from the students or parents. Okay, but basically, what would you advise? Like as you know, like we're having so many offer letter holders in already who is holding offer letter from University of Hull. So what would be your advice for them to secure their seat?
So I would suggest that if you're holding an offer now, and based on the fact that University of Hull is in a new era of application numbers, is to get them to secure their place as soon as possible with their deposit. Now, if they pay their deposit now, if they're still conditional, so they need to meet English language, or we're waiting on the academics, pay their deposit, and if they don't meet the grade, then we can refund the deposit back, or we can carry it over to the following year if they want to defer, maybe to meet their English language, or if they need to take, say, pre-sessional and things like that. So we will refund the deposit back to them. So this is not a problem. What I would suggest is, if you need to meet your English language requirements, look at the different options available to you. Get in contact with Ian Global. They can give you the details of either taking the Oxford test or booking in for something like IELTS indicator. So yeah, we're very, very keen to be able to support students.
Fantastic. And Ima, we are nearly close to our this live session. So would you please make a summary for all those students who join later on this live session, who missed the first part of our today's session? So you can tell you can give them any advice from your end.
Absolutely. So the University of Hull, as we've said, is very much a campus-based university that is focused on research and teaching. So our students, especially coming onto our master's programs, will be doing that great element of research and having that access to some really fantastic academics as well, who are top researchers in their field. And that will give the students kind of like a really broad education while studying in the UK. And that's one of the key reasons of doing a master's in the UK, is actually doing that research project and only covering it in a year as well, which is great. So alongside of kind of like that fantastic study aspect, because we're a single site campus university, you get everything in that one space. We've got a really fantastic student district close by. It's offering you everything you'd need as an international student. We also have a really amazing Bangladeshi community locally. So our Bangladeshi community locally are either into business, so they own a lot of the local businesses. They might be some of the restaurants. So we have really good, what we would call Indian takeaway restaurants in Hull. So a lot of business like that, or they're professionals, and that community really come together. There's access to 2 local mosques as well. So one of my current students has just started doing his PhD. I know that he'd been to Friday prayers very recently, obviously with it being the holy month of Ramadan. So you've got a very good community to support you here. There's lots of businesses here to support you and lots of local people. There's a really growing community of Bangladeshi students. As I say, applications have gone up this year, and that will be great because you'll be able to meet people that have a like-minded view like yourself, but also then be able to meet people from all around the world, which is one of the reasons why you'd come and study in the UK, is that international exposure and experience. Now, coming back to what you're going to get in our city, as I said, we've got that amazing community. You've got some really amazing places to go and buy like local food. So if you want to go and buy halal food, that's possible as well. And that's really close to campus. So you won't be able to get it on the campus itself, but very close. And I'm talking like starting from like a 5-minute to 10-minute walk away from the campus, which might be in the area that you choose to live in. I choose to live in, obviously, very close to campus, walking distance. I'm a 20-minute walk. Hull is a really safe city to walk around. It's really good, especially as like a woman. And I know a lot of people are worried about coming over and being like a single woman on their own and what's it like to walk around. I do this. I walk around the student district. I go out shopping. I go and meet my friends. We go for, dinner and coffees and things like that. So really great area to be in and a great environment to be in. And very safe as well. And I'd say that if you've got like sons or daughters, a good place to be sending them to come and study. In terms of what we're offering this year, Hull is offering the most affordable study in the UK. So if you want to be able to basically not spend as much as you would ordinarily, then Hull is going to be offering that really great option. You've got a lower fee, you've got a really good cost of living. I enjoy that. I live locally. I'm very lucky to have really, really affordable housing for the UK and a really great lifestyle as well. And the students will be able to gain some of that too. So Hull is a great affordable option for studying. The other thing is, though, we know our fees will go up next year. And we will have scholarships on offer, but they will not be across the board. So this year is the year to consider studying at the University of Hull. A great range of subjects, as we've already said. We literally cover almost everything in our university, lots and lots of options there for the students. We have a really flexible entry requirement in that CGPA of 2.5, an IELTS requirement of 6.0 and 5.5 for most of our courses, not all, but for most of them. And then you've also got that other option of having those really great other English language tests that students can take. Obviously, with lockdown in Bangladesh at this time, means you can't get out to an IELTS test centre. So what I would say is look at doing some of those online courses. Now, as we were talking about as a university, you might be a bit worried about kind of the pandemic, what's going to happen, and we will keep you up to date over the summer coming into September to make sure you know what are your options and what's going to be available for you, what we will be expecting from you, and how we can help you as well. If you need any help with your applications, with coming to the university, what the situation is like, then EN Global are really experienced in that. And as I said, they've got great contacting with myself. I hope that I've covered everything in there. But any more questions, we're always open. Come down to EN Global. They have constant contact with myself. I think they email me, if not on a daily basis, maybe like 3 times a day basis. And I try my best to get back to them with all of their queries as well. So we're very much in partnership, and we're here to help one another.
Thank you. Thanks for your time, and thanks for your this valuable information, for all this information. We are really thankful from our EN Global team. And I would like to share some information to all of our students who would like to go to UK for this upcoming intake. As there is a lockdown going on, so all of our officers are working from home. So if you want to apply to UK or University of Hull, you are feel free to contact with us. Our Sylhet, we have an office in Sylhet and Dhaka. As soon as situation change and lockdown will be open, and then all of our branches will be open, so you can visit our office that time. But during this time, if you really want to apply to UK, so don't be late. You can call any of our number. You can drop a text to our social media, or you can drop a text to all of our numbers having like WhatsApp. So you can WhatsApp your documents in order to apply for UK universities. Please note that we do not charge any service charge from our students, and we have like all these dedicated officers who are graduated from either UK or USA or Australia. And our dedicated compliance team always helping you and suggest you how to prepare or how to make your interview, and our application team always helping you to apply for you to the right university and the right institutions. And we have our career counselor. They are always willingly to help you and guide you for your career counseling. Sometimes we're having some students, they don't know which course they want to do. So our experienced counselor, they give them an appropriate guideline. And most of our counselor, they are British Council trained officer. So they knows all these entry requirements and the right path, what needs to do with these students. And eventually, if any students is still now feeling like hesitate to fill contract with us due to any kinds of financial or any kinds of problem you're facing, you can feel free to talk to us. We have so many universities option available. Some universities tuition fees is like you can afford it very easily, so don't be hesitate. And there is some university which is like very high rank, and their tuition fees is very, very high. So we can discuss with you all these potential options for available for you. So thank you, Ima, for your time, and thank you everyone. Ramadan Mubarak. Good evening. Assalamu alaikum.